This is a video I'm making about preparing my boat for the Golden Globe race in 2026. Hello, Pat Lawless is my name. I'm an entrant in the Golden Globe race in 2026. I entered the Golden Globe race in 2022, but unfortunately I had to pull into Cape Town. I had equipment problems and that was a tough time. Since I entered the Golden Globe race originally, I have sailed over 30,000 miles solo. And the only bad time really was when my self-steering failed and I had to sail into Cape Town about 1,500 miles. I was fairly low at that stage. I cried, but I got over it. People were so nice and I got in. Being alone for 2 months, you're slightly isolated, no problem. But it was just interesting looking back on it. So at the moment I'm on passage from Grand Tara Hall to Dingle in Ireland. Grand Tara Hall is in Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. And I'm about 6 days into the passage from Rubicon Marina, where I stopped for 24 hours. During this video I will be talking about preparing my boat, a Saltram Saga 36, for the Golden Globe race and for sailing solo. She's a beautiful long keel double ender. I managed to get a lot of work done to her during the winter down in Grand Tara Hall, including rebranding for the Golden Globe race in 2026. I go above deck now and start with talking about the sails. Out in front, very front furler, I will have a Genoa on for the race. I have a smaller Yankee on now. So it's gone up there. The one that the sail is on at the moment is the Solent sail, Solent Stay, the second furler in. And that is the Yankee that I had for the Golden Globe race in 22. Nice, 140%. Next is my staysail. It's a cutter rig, so the staysail goes up about 3/4 of the way. That sail makes a big difference going upwind and reaching, and it's a good sail. I'm delighted with it. The foresail back is my mainsail. This is quite an old mainsail. It's the oldest one I have. I actually have 3 mainsails. The new one I got for the Golden Globe race in 22, and another one that came with the boat. This has the smallest roach and is quite light. So I was using it before I came down and decided to stay with it for the trip down and trip back to save my better sails. Now that I know what I'm getting from Rolly Tasker, I mightn't have to save my sails so much. I have a single main sheet which I'll stick with. I have a spare main sheet, totally 2 blocks and all that. And if I ever needed, I could put it on anywhere in the boat and use it. If it never happened, this track and main sheet. I find I have good control over the mainsail with the single main sheet. I can twist it and use it whatever way I want, so that's why I went with the single main sheet. I have a track port and starboard so I can lead the jib sheets back to the winches. The tracks for the staysail are on the deck, but the blocks need replacing. I have 2 Loomer 46 winches self-tailing for the jib sheets, and also I have 2 Harkin 40s self-tailing, both dual speed. Irish Power and Process, Noel Heary supplied me with these 2 winches, fair play to him. You can see here I don't have my self-steering on. There's the rudder off it down. I'm after sailing over 6 days now without self-steering, and it's working really well. It's given me a great chance to get the feel for the balance of the boat. I have bungee cords working it there, so that's good. You can see insulators here for the backstays. That means I have 2 antennas there for SSB radio, another receiver as well. I use these 2 back ones as well as the Loomer ones for the spinnakers as well. I have blocks I can put onto the gunnels. So I probably will carry 2 spinnakers. I had 4 in the last race, which was a bit much. These two Loomer 16 single speed winches can haul up the halyards and the staysail sheets. I'm going to have to fit another few spin locks here. It's lovely to see the sun. I haven't had sun in a good few days. Been very cloudy. This might be a sign that I'm getting close to the centre of the Azores High. If I can get through that and out the other side, I should be into southwesterly winds. So only time will tell that. I'm sailing like as if I was in the Golden Globe race, so my only weather information is looking at the sky and looking at the barometer. I love the granny bars. I didn't have granny bars on boats before, or self-tail winches, or furlers. It's all very new to me over the last few years. Entering the Golden Globe race is a big learning curve. But granny bars, I recommend for any boat. Just going on deck, passing them, they're a great grip. You can do a lot of work at the mast with them safely. Here I am standing inside the granny bars. This winch down here I use for reefing if needed. I have 4 reefs on the mainsail I will have for the Golden Globe race, and 3 of them will be laid aft. If I need the 4th reef, which I think is very unlikely, but it's great to have it. Considering removing this winch because I don't use it, that's the spinnaker halyard is tied to it now. I have twin tracks for 2 poles on the mast, which works great. It's great to be able to use 2 poles. The port side of the mast is the side that the halyards come down. So this winch I do use for winding up the halyards. You can see the kicking strap there, which will be replaced, and the boom brake. And the rope goes through the pulley block and back. For now my life raft is on the deck. For the race I intend to remove it and stow it in the quarter berth. It wouldn't be safe up there, it could get washed off. And I had it on the cockpit floor the last time, but for a few reasons. One, it's awkward to hand steer when it's at your feet, and the other, if the cockpit filled up and didn't empty quick enough, put it in place. I'm thinking of getting rid of the 2 vents each side of the life raft and sealing them up. I'm putting solar panels there and over the front of the hatch. So that's to be discussed. My lifelines run in the centre of the boat. You can see the 2 of them there at the bottom of the staysail and the chain plate. And the reason I run them in the centre of the boat, when you're wearing your harness, if they were down the side of the boat and you fell overboard, it would be next to impossible to climb back in. So you tie your harness short so that you can't go over the side. You have to think of these things when you're sailing solo. During the Golden Globe race, we're allowed to bring 9 sails in total. I have decided to bring 1 Genoa, like you can see in the front in the photograph here. My Solent Yankee is on here, sailing into Les Sables, fantastic sail. And the staysail, like you can see in front of the mainsail. This is the mainsail I had for the Golden Globe race in 22. I was very happy with it. So I have 4 new sails in production as I sail home from Rowley Tasker, which is great for me. And thank you to Michael Flynn of the FLI group, who's helping me with the purchase of them. The 4 sails are a Genoa, Solent Yankee, staysail, and a lovely mainsail. Yeehaw! The boom brake is a great piece of kit, but I found out the hard way I should only put 2 turns on it. While sailing through the doldrums in the 22 race, I was caught in a squall. Well over 40 knots with too much sail up. I had an accidental jibe, and with the 3 turns on the boom brake, it jammed halfway across. With the force lifting the leech, the strain was too much and it wouldn't let the 3 turns run through. All of a sudden, with a bang, it went. And actually what it was the pulley block on the deck broke. It was dark at this time, I had a head torch on, and of course I looked to see what happened, and next minute the boat jibed back. The main sheet caught me and fired me against the winches. I broke a couple of ribs. I also tore ligaments in my shoulder, which actually took longer to heal because I put my hand up to try and save myself. Why it jibed is interesting. To jib this out opposite the mainsail, I let the pole forward to wind it in. and the wind ran off the other side of it, I made it jibe. And of course I didn't think of adjusting the steering to stop it from jibing back. I don't intend on making the same mistake again. We live and learn by our mistakes. Tuesday morning after a nice night sailing. So let's go on deck. Yesterday was Monday. A week earlier I left Rubicon Marina in Lanzarote, and the day before I left Grand Tara Hall in Fuerteventura. Until yesterday I had been using my bungee cords as self-steering and balancing the sails. But yesterday evening I got through the centre of the Azores high, and the wind was very light behind me, and rather than float around for the night and try and get the boat sailing with sheet to tiller, I weakened and I put on the Aries, and to steer me away the finest all through the night. I'm a bit lazy to take it off again now, the rudder, and if I lost my rudder I'd be in big trouble. That's why I have a good excuse for not taking it off. But yeah, I'm delighted with the Aries. My fix worked very well, and the wind is light enough, doing about 5.5 to 6 knots, broad reaching and that, so yeah, it's all good. I have one reef in the main, and I took in the staysail. I did the two of them last night, just before it got dark. I didn't run any pressure on the self-steering, which there isn't really anyway, but we're doing close to 6 knots, so that's fine. You can see the Aries is working away, not a bother. Now can you see where I put in the nuts there? Or the bolts, sorry. And here you can see the hydro generator turning away, making power from my batteries. I think the hydro generator needs to go down a bit, since I've lightened the boat as a bit on the high side. But that's an easy fix. So it works really well. You can see the Ocean Power hydro generator there, the top of it. And that it's a fantastic piece of kit. And the company, Ocean Power, German engineer and German company, fantastic to deal with. Eckhard, I found him a gentleman and really good to deal with. And he gave me a good deal because I was in the Golden Globe race. So thank you, Eckhard, if you're watching this. And when I'm working on anything out the back there, I have to stick my head and shoulders out through that square there in the self-steering. And that's so. It's a bit awkward, and I don't like bringing my camera out there because you're trying to get in with it in your hand, and it's very tight. You're trying to scrunch your way back in, and you can see there's all kinds of pins on the rudder sticking into you and things like that, so it's not the most comfortable. So the videos I'm making back there are from up on top, leaning out, so that's why I didn't get great photographs of the Aries and things. But yeah, the hydro generator is a fantastic piece of kit. My batteries now, after sailing with it there for the night, will be up in 13.5% or whatever. If I was in the race, I mightn't leave it down all the time, but when I'm not in the race, I leave it down, keep the batteries topped up. My two running backstays were well aft, but I have moved them up there and I am delighted. Running backstays aren't standard in this boat. We have diamonds or dolphins up on top of the mast to support it. But in the Southern Ocean you'd need running backstays as well. So with the boom out, on whichever side it's out on, you leave the running backstay forward. And you can see I have a bungee cord there to clip it forward out of the way. So I just wanted to make sure that the running backstays don't wear the top cross trees. I have conduit on it at the moment just to stop it, but I will fit leather when I'm sorting out the rigging in a few weeks' time. Above deck took longer than I thought, but I will do one of below deck. And if you want any more information, if you Google patlawless.com or patlawless.irish, all my contacts are there. So thanks for watching. Bye.